I think what makes this new chapter worth telling is that it's an origin story. We see a little more of Elisa's past. We see the sort of grief that she's gone through. She's lost her husband, and so you meet a different Elise than you met in the first film. In the first film, she's quite a happy person, well-adjusted, in charge of what she does. She's not like that in this film, so it's a good role for Lynn. And you know, I think it's really intense and scary. You know, I think the demon in it is really special. So I think fans of the first two films are going to love this. No, this is actually a prequel set a few years before the first film. Okay. So it's set sort of way back in 2008, and it takes place before the first films happen, but you still have these things, Easter eggs and things that are references to the other two films. Okay, so it would take place before the first film, but after when she's younger in the second film. Yes, okay. Yes, yeah, exactly. Right. It's not that far of a prequel, yeah. All right. I love it. I always think the best horror films have always been independent. You know, if you think about the landmark horror films of the past 20 years, you know, the Blair Witch Project, you know, Paranormal Activity, they're always indie movies, and it just seems to have the most wiggle room for horror filmmakers. The larger the budget, the more people you're going to have standing behind you telling you to change this or censor that. And as you know, in the horror genre, you don't want to censor anything. It needs to be your untapped id. It needs to be your vision on the screen. If it's diluted in any way, it just won't have impact. So I'm really happy that everything's going independent. I have a script that I've written that is actually kind of a cross-genre film. It's almost like Cronenberg horror. You know how Cronenberg's early films were kind of a mixture of sci-fi and body horror? Exactly. I have something along those lines that I really like, so I think it kind of strays a little bit into horror. Certainly not ghost or supernatural horror, but just think Cronenberg. Oh yeah, that could be definitely cool. Yeah, I'm excited. Funnily enough, what scares me is just the real world. You know, it's when you step outside of that theater and you have to deal with, you know, paying bills and all the stuff of normal life that we don't want to deal with. To me, that's the really scary stuff. You know, getting some letter in the mail telling you have to, you know, pay some bill by a certain time. Like, horror movies are where I escape for comfort, you know, from the real world. So, you know, that's what I would say is the scary stuff. No worries, man. Thanks.